Good morning, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is the Angels of Politics broadcast, and I'm your host. Or maybe I'm not your host, I'm just the conduit. I'm just your intermediary. Um, I am just your medium. I know mediums are not of Christ, so I won't be that, but I am the intercessory component to get you to where you need to be. The White Collar Goon, the creative and artistic manifestation of angels in politics, and there is a topic that I would like to discuss with you today. First and foremost, have you had your meal? Have you eaten? That's good. Don't break your fast too early. Right now it's not even 11 o'clock yet, and right now I'm just drinking water. I just came back from, Planet Fitness with my mother. It's always good. A family that works out together, kirks out together. No, they don't. Hopefully they stay together and they improve their health, wealth, and wellness. Um, but I do have some coffee as well, so you know how that's gonna go down. Um, yeah, I wanted to start off and just have a shout out to my homegirl, Joanna, Jo, Joanna. I mean, I know you know that song because it was a hit song for a few years, but shout out to my homegirl, Joanna, Jo, Jo, Joanna. Um, she's a young lady whom I worked with whilst on the cruise ship. And I just saw she didn't post anything, but I saw that she was traveling from Lisbon, and maybe she's going to her next ship, her next contract. She's from Portugal, and I've been to Portugal, but I did not get off of the ship due to the fact I had to work all day. But my time is coming. Of course, I've already put that energy out there, and there is going to be love, respect, and admiration in Lisbon and so many other places in Portugal. I just need to I just have to position myself and align myself with that energy because, according to my homegirl Joanna, it's already out there. There's already love out there. There's already respect out there, and it's mutual respect from my end for sure. Oh, that's good. That's good coffee. Um, I was talking to my homegirl once. One day. I think it was the first day that we had a what they call port zone, but that means we had to work together all day on the ship whilst we were docked, and other people were able to go off the ship and hang out and have a good time. Either way, me and my homegirl were there, and we were talking, and I was expressing to her how there was this young lady who worked with us on our team, and she was gone, or she left like the same, maybe like a week after I got there. So we didn't spend much time together. We went to a few ports like Key West and maybe Nassau, Bahamas, something like this together. And after that, she was gone. But she was really nice. She wasn't too keen on me. Which I was well. I guess I'm not too surprised now. Now that I'm having this self-effacing moment, but she wasn't necessarily too keen with my personality or on my personality, but I thought we got on well. She was fit, well fit, all right. I would say like proper fit. She took care of herself, took care of her body, was one of those, feminine archetypes. I would say she would be more of the archetype that I would find attractive. Everybody has their own, I mean, beauty is subjective and everybody has their own standards, but she wore the makeup. She was the girly kind of girl, very, very, very feminine in that sense, like she was I would presume smart in the sense of maybe she was educated, had a degree, that type of thing. But as far as personality, she made a point to not be like over the top or intellectual. She admitted to her liking simple things, and she was fine by that. And I respected her candidness and her honesty because I think a lot of guys and I've mentioned before about competence, intelligence, industriousness, intuitiveness, and all these types of things, and how women can be engineers, doctors, lawyers, attorneys, all these, CEOs, CFOs, COOs, any type of letters or acronyms you want to put together to make her seem or present herself or project herself to be substantial. But she was not like that. She was pretty. She knew she was pretty. She liked being pretty, and she liked simple things. She liked flowers. She liked, she worked well with kids. She liked the attention. She liked to be showered with attention, and pretty much that was that. And I like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that because she was from Eastern Europe, so maybe Ukraine or something. Russia or Ukraine most likely. But that type of disposition and that type of energy in her, like, ideologies would be very conflicting with a lot of Americans, particularly Americans in the universities, particularly white women in the humanities, and graduate schools, and these types of things, because we're really trying to push the the openness and the non-conforming compartments of femininity, and saying how women can be everything and women can do everything, and women shouldn't just be pretty girls who look nice and wear makeup and have guys do things for them because they're pretty and they're nice and they look good. But she was very much into that traditional, conventional. Yeah, yeah. I'll cook. I can be the girl. I like to be the girl. I like to be taken care of. I like to be the one that's groomed, and my job is to continue to look pretty. And my job, that was her thing, and she was very direct about it. But either way, this is about my homegirl Joanna. I was speaking to my homegirl Joanna about that young woman from Ukraine who left, and I was telling her, I was like, yo, I don't know if it's something about me or something, or maybe it's just the personality. Maybe it is the challenger archetype. Maybe it is the headstrong, direct, definitive archetype that I project, or the energy that I present or convey. But, like, I didn't know that homegirl didn't fuck with me until, like, somebody else on our team told me. There was another girl was like, yo, after what's the name left, before she left, she was saying how, Gabe, she thought you were, like, really annoying, and she felt like you were, like, obsessed with her, and she felt like you were just too much, too much for her. And I was like, really? Like, and I don't know, that kind of fucked with me, because I didn't hit on her. Like, I mean, for what I know, for to be hitting on girls, I didn't ask her for her phone number. I didn't ask her on a date. I didn't ask her, could I be her boyfriend, or does she have a boyfriend? I didn't ask her these things. Like, I talked to her about her boyfriend. I talked to her about her relationships, and things of that nature. But I talked to all women about these types of things. So, like, it wasn't like a part and parcel thing, like I just specifically picked her out. But girls are intuitive, and girls know when guys find them desirable, and girls know when a motherfucker likes what they like. So she clearly, even though I am talkative and expressive, let's be honest, she could tell that I found her to be attractive as well. Like, and not just me. I'm pretty sure 98% of 99% of the men on the fucking cruise ship, or in the world, whatever, a lot of guys will like her, just her archetype. So, like, I get it. She was used to being that kind of girl, but I was kind of, like, thrown by that. I was like, damn, like, I didn't pull up on you. I didn't touch you, grab you, or say, hey, what are you doing later in the night? Do you want to hang? Like, nothing like that. But for her to go to other people and express her discontent, and her uneasiness around me, or her frustration, or just the fact that she just didn't fuck with me, like, just I was like, okay, so duly noted. I like constructive criticism. I like even criticism that's not necessarily constructive. I'll take it either way, because to me, it's all about your personal business. Don't take it personal. You are an entity. You are a corporation. You are a one-man conglomerate. You are a business. So when people give you feedback on McDonald's or Starbucks, they don't just, the owner of Starbucks isn't, like, crying about it. The owners of the franchisers of these McDonald's aren't, like, crying about it. They listen to what the advice is, or they listen to what the critiques are, and then they do their alterations, they do their augmentations, they fix or assess what the problem is, and they ask questions. Okay, so how would this be better? What would you like to see better? What would you like to see improved? And that's business, right? So when homegirl told that to me, I went to Joanna and I asked her. I was like, how do you feel about me? And not necessarily how do you feel about me, but like, do you feel like what she said was warranted? Like, or am I tripping? Am I tripping? Do I come off like crazy hardcore? Like, is the fact that I'm heavily communicative and I'm, I make eye contact and I ask questions about your personal life. Like, is that a bit much? And she was like, Gabe, it's not the fact, Joanna's really cool. Actually, Joanna is like super cool. Like one of those like cool, like on the other side of the pillow type of ladies. Never raised her voice, never spoke like above this type of tone, just was very much so like this. And she was just like cool as a cucumber, man. Like I really enjoyed her energy. I'm gonna have to, see her like in Portugal whenever I get over there, but super cool. And she was just like a girl who just gave me, well, a woman, because I mean she was a woman, she was not a girl. This woman would just give me advice, and she gave it to me real, and she was like, Gabe, you you are expressive, and that is a good thing, because the kids like you and the teenagers like you, and you work well in this environment because the team likes you. But as far as like, you know girls in the whole courtship thing and the whole dating thing and the whole like, and she didn't even use the word dating, but like, attraction and all that type of stuff, it's like girls, believe it or not, make moves too. Like, girls approach guys too. Girls will make a move, and that's what she was telling me. I mean, mind you, she wasn't a 19-year-old teenager. She was a young woman, in her 30s. So I guess she was a bit more comfortable with expressing this. As a 22-year-old, probably not. As a 21-year-old, 19, forget about it. 25-year-old, not really. But as a woman who's over 33, 34, like, she will tell you, like, listen, women make moves on you. Like, when we like what we like, when we want what we want, we'll make a move. And it's gonna be the way that a girl will do it, of course. It's gonna be the way that a woman feels comfortable doing it. But she says, trust me, like, she was speaking for herself, and she was just speaking for women in general. Women will initiate. Women will make a move. Women will do things to show you that they're interested and they like you, or they, or like, they're intrigued. But she was saying for you, or for me, she was speaking to me, that because I'm so this way, that you would never get a chance to have women make a move on you, Gabe. You would never get a chance to have a woman, assess how she feels about you, because you're already beating her to the you've already beat her to the punch, based on the fact that you're just, yourself. And I had to take that and meditate on that, and I actually wrote it down, because I do things like that, take notes. But I've heard that before. I've heard that from women, and like my roommates, like Greg Bannister in college. I remember he was saying, like, Gabe, I bet you're the type that doesn't even allow a girl to, if we were like intimate, or if we were in the privacy of our own room, and we were expressing our affection for each other in a mutual respect, he was trying to say, like, I bet you're the type to never let a girl just take the lead, or take the control, or her initiate things. And I was like, well, yeah, you're right, because in my opinion, or for the way I think and the way I operate, if I were to sit there and wait for girls to do anything, like, it would never get done. And I guess that's my issue. That is if that's my psychology, if that's my mentality, then this is the reason why one homegirl from Eastern Europe was like, yo, Gabe, you're like too much. Please don't add me on Facebook. Like, I think you're a creep. And this is the reason why, my homegirl Joanna was like, bro, like, you're talkative, you're outgoing, but at the same time, some women can see that as aggressive, too assertive, too much, too direct, intimidating. Something like this. In comparison to your peers, maybe in an environment full of motivational speakers or public speakers, and maybe in an environment full of extroverted, intuitive, perceiving, feeling peoples, in an environment full of outgoing, loud speaking, creative people, in an environment full of writers and talkers and whatever, talk show hosts or some shit. Like, maybe you're kind of normal there, but in the average work environment, Gabe, you are an outlier. In the average environment with guys, even though these guys were from all over the world, and I loved working on a cruise ship and I love working overseas because I like working, I thrive in working, and I long to be in environments with diverse nationalities and ethnicities, because I like to compare myself with people from Russia and China and countries in Africa and India and the Philippines, and the people who are British in the UK and Europeans. I like to see, like, it's almost like a race. I like to see all of us lined up and then and say ready, set, go. And I want to test my skills, test my competence, intelligence, industriousness, intuitiveness, my social capabilities, my interpersonal, my communicative skills. I would like to test that amongst others to see, how educated I am. What do I need to work on? What do I need to improve upon? What should I fix? And she gave me like spot on advice. She was like, Gabe, you know, if you were to just focus on, yourself and just chill, and she didn't use the word chill, but like if you just were to, lay back a bit, girls would be more apt to, maybe not, I mean, and I understand with my approach or with my disposition, I'm not going to be the type to have women like pull up and sit down at a chair, like pull up a chair and sit next to me in a coffee shop. Like, that's, I just don't have that look, I guess. I mean, I don't have stories of me sitting alone, because I eat alone whenever I travel and I'm places, but I don't have stories of women just, oh, can I have a seat with you? Like, do you mind if I have lunch, join you for lunch? Like, I mean, as a friendly person in environments like school and at work, of course, but like as a random person who, like, somebody doesn't know, they don't look at me and probably say, yes, like, this is the guy that I can approach and talk to, even though I'm a gregarious, extremely talkative person. I guess with the look, it just, I mean, as far as the opposite sex, the sexual polarity, guys I can talk to, guys are saying what up, because they see, men recognize men, game recognize game. When I see a guy who's looking cool, or if I see a guy who's in shape, or if I see a guy who dresses all right, if I see a guy who just looks interesting, I'll be like, yo, what up, bro? Like, what's going on, yo? And I could just have conversation, because it is what it is. I think it's difficult for guys to do that with women, because I mean, it's the polarity, of course, and it's the uneasiness, it is the uncomfortable aspect of, like, maybe she might think I'm hitting on her, maybe she might think I'm a creep, or maybe I am hitting on her and she's not into me, like, a lot of those things. But yeah, she was just saying, chill, Gabe, just chill and let it come to you, just let it come. Call it good.